it's Lori from Stampinology, and I have a fun fold for you today. Now, this is the original that I have made. It's going to be a little bit difficult to see this, but it has the dangle that comes down. You can see, maybe you can see it like this. And when you open it, it stands up, and there's a place for the greeting. So anyway, we're going to be making this card, but I'm going to decorate it slightly differently. I came up with an idea between the time I made this one and made the sample for this one. So let's get going on that. The first thing we need to do is, let me show you this. This is the gorgeous suite that we're using. It comes from the new mini catalog. It's the Peace on Earth. And here is the photopolymer stamp set, and it has, that's the cut and emboss. Isn't that gorgeous? It has dies that go with it, which has this this shape here. There's two shapes, a larger and a smaller. It has the doves, and of course the little bits there. And we're also going to be using the everyday arches. And I'm just using the die set from that. If you haven't seen that, that's a look at that. So I love these arches. I think this one's, looking forward to doing some scrapbooking with this one. All right, and this is the pretty, again, these embellishments, I guess they're flowers. Yeah, these almost look like snowflakes though, and they come in white. So the white ones too, I'll show you those. Come on here. Those really look like snowflakes to me. All right, so anyway, let's put these aside. Oh, and the papers. It comes with these gorgeous, gorgeous papers, and it has shinies. Look at that, secret sea and silver, and look at that. I love that. This misty moonlight in shine. So anyway, I could go on and on about papers all the time. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut a card base. And let me give you some numbers on this. Now I have done this out of the new color Secret Sea. And I've used this is the entire length for the metric. So it's 29.8 and then 14.85. Now if you are working with actually 29.8, you've actually going to shave off some on the bottom here when you cut it. And then if you're working with me with Imperial, it's 11 by 5.5. Now, what I have done here, and I've sort of made a note because all these directions are written down in my website, so you don't have to write these down unless you don't want to go back later. I sort of made, the height of this card is arbitrary. The original that I saw, and I can't find it to save my life, was a long card. It was about that big and had a custom envelope. It was gorgeous, really pretty, but it was really big too. And I wanted to cut this down to use a half a sheet of cardstock because you're going to need another piece as well. So these numbers are what you see. So if you are normally making a metric card base, then you would have a height on it of 14.85. And if you're making a imperial card base, you would normally have 5.5. So that's where these numbers come from. But you can make this any height you want. So keep that in mind. This makes a sort of an oversized slimline card is really pretty as well. So anyway, now card base. You're going to do some scores, and these need to be even across here. So if you're working with me in metric, I'll just run down and give you the numbers. We got 5 centimeters, 10 centimeters, 15 centimeters, and 20 centimeters. Okay, and here are your metric numbers: 1 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7. And now what we're going to do is we're going to give ourselves an accordion here. So we're folding this way. Now, as you're folding this, just make sure you're checking that you're even, because this is where you can make sure everything is evened up. So let's go down. Yeah, double check the top and the bottom and back. There we go. So now we have a nice accordion going here. Give these a really good smash down. We're a little uneven here on the back, but it shouldn't make any difference as long as we are even top to bottom. That's going to make the big one here. All right, and that's our card base. We'll get back to that in a moment. Now, to make this mechanism piece here, you're going to cut a piece of, we got it all out of the way here. You're going to cut another piece of cardstock, and this is going to be the same height. So this will be 14.85 for all you metric people, and 5 1/2 for all my lovely imperial people. Now the width is going to be, for metric, 15.2 centimeters, and for my imperial people it's going to be 6 inches. So I'll give you those numbers again. For metric, it's 15.2 centimeters by 14.85, and then we've got 6 inches by 5 1/2. Now we're going to score this piece exactly halfway. So if you're working with me in metric, it's 7.6 or 3 inches in imperial. So we're going to put a nice score line right there, and then we're going to give it a fold. Now this one is not so picky, but you do want a nice fold, so we'll do it like this. Now if you were making this card here, we're not going to do a piece to cover, but since I'm doing this slightly different, we're going to cut another piece of DSP that is exactly the same size as this. And I can repeat that for you. That's going to be 15.2 centimeters by 14.85, or 6 inches by 5 1/2. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to do a cut along the middle, and the exact center is going to be 7.6 or 3 inches. So we'll give this a fold like this. Now we're going to glue this piece to this piece. Now I realize not all folds are the same. You're using the same paper cutter, but whenever you fold something, you're always going to have a bit showing, because this fold is actually laying on top of the other one. So what we're going to do is we're going to trim it. But first, we are going to glue. Now, if I were making this card, I would put this glue on here, and then I would walk away, and I would let it stay. And there's more than one way to skin a cat, as everybody knows, which is, I don't know why I said that. That's a disgusting phrase. So you do this the way that you find it the easiest. But since I need to make sure that this will fold, because as you see in the regular card, it will remain folded. No matter how open you get it, you're always going to have this fold. So I hold this down and use my bone folder to make sure that glue is nice and spread. You don't want to get too much glue on this. All right. Now, I am a bit of a completionist. So I am checking to see how much. See, I've got a bit left over here, and I kind of don't like that. So I'm going to shave it off. Excuse me. Let's get this out here. It's not a whole lot, but it's just enough to kind of bug me a little bit, because I want it nice and even. This is going to butt up to another piece. Yeah, I think that's all right. All right, and now the next thing we do, make sure you fold it good, is we're going to cut our space. And as you know, I have used the triangle. Now, what I did, you can do this or not. It's totally up to you. There's actually no reason not to do it. I used a Sharpie marker. Actually, I didn't use a Sharpie marker. I used this guy, which is a Stampin' Blends. This is the black. This is an alcohol marker, just like a Sharpie. So if you don't have a Sharpie and you have one of our Stampin' Blends, use that. And I have marked halfway. Now, let me give you these numbers for this piece. And like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. This is the way I did it. I measured this triangle, and this is the 7.5 centimeter by 10.8 centimeter arch, or the 3 inches by 4 1/4 arch. So you can pick out which one that is. And then I measured halfway. And when I got this halfway point, which is, I wrote it down so I don't have to figure it out in my head. It's 3.7 right there. And if you are working, I want to put 1.5 inches. Yeah, that is, it's 1.5 inches if it's metric. And I put it down on this because I needed something to square it up. So I squared it up at the correct mark here. And this is squared across the bottom. I laid this down and I stuck my marker in there so I knew I had this at exactly halfway. And having the point of that arch will help you. That's why I said you can't do anything but help making the mark on your piece. So anyway, having said that, you can either cut this like this, in which case you'll have to run this through 2 or 3 times. It will go all the way through. I did test it out. I just found it easier to cut this way. It made a little wrinkly in my paper, but it still turned out all right. So I taped my arch down. You see what I mean by a wrinkly in the paper? Yeah, like this. And where's my tape? And where you put this arch, if you want it more to the top, more to the bottom, doesn't matter. You can use one of the smaller arches. Now I'm going to go and cut this. I know you guys don't usually see me cutting on when I do this, but I thought this one, I wanted to show you how I set it up. Oops, did I get that? No. I think my tape came up. Oh, no, it didn't. It didn't. That's fine. So, as you can see, it's just fine when you squish it out. See? No problems at all. Because, you know, before I ran it through, you could see the... I think I'm going to get rid of that tape. I've used this one too many times. All right, here we go. And you could do something with this maybe later. I don't know. It's interesting. Let's get rid of it. So now we have our arch cut like this. Da da da. All right. And see how nice and neat that comes out. Oh, we could actually trim a bit off at the top. Let's see. See if we need to. Yeah, I want to trim that. I'm going to trim that little extra bit here. Okay. It's handmade. I shouldn't be so picky, but sometimes I am. All right, so here is our arch piece. Now, different ways you can approach this. If you want to do all your cutting first, and then I can give you these numbers. This piece is going to go back here, and I'm not working with borders here. All right, so actually no, let's do it this way. We're going to do the attaching first. Now let's make our centerpiece. Here's our dangle. Now in this one, I cut 2 of the doves from the, using this set, the Peace on Earth set. I cut 2 doves and I cut 1 of the little, I don't know, I think it's supposed to be an olive branch. But I did that out of the silvery paper. And I just glued them together with a piece of the twine linen thread in the middle. On this one, I did 1 center card, and then I did 2 of the stamped pieces, and I put 1 on each side. This one has a hole, and it's tied in a bow on the top, and this is just baker's twine that I used. The Everyday Essentials baker's twine. But on this one, I wanted it not really to show as much. So you decide where you want your piece to dangle, how far down you want it. Now, I'm going to work on the back side, and you should work on the back side as well. So you put your dangle here, decide where you want it. Do you want it in the middle? Do you want it low? Do you want it high? Now, if you're using more than one dangles, I did play with using 2 of the doves, but there wasn't quite enough room to do that. So I left it with 1, and I'm going to put him about right there. So you decide where you want your dove, and then I'm just using your regular old Scotch sellotape here. And I'm going to tape this down. You're going to tape it right in that fold. Come on. There, that's what I want right there. Now make sure this is really, really taped tight, that you trust your tape, because you don't want your dangle falling out. I think there's a euphemism somewhere about losing your dangle, but we're not going to go into it because, oh dear. All right, so this is where our dove is going to hang down. Let's trim the top off. We don't need all of this extra bit here. There we go. Now, I am going to use, in my original, I use glue. For this one, I'm going to use Tear and Tape simply because it's faster. There's no other reason. Glue works perfectly fine here. So take your Tear and Tape or your glue. And we're going to do one side, and then we're going to do the other. So let's cut this. All right, there we go. Got that. Now, this fits in here. We're going to fold the whole thing together. So the bottom will be to the bottom and the top to the top. And you're going to slide this so you don't see this edge here. So you want to move it over, move it over, and move it over until you cannot see it. Just like that. All right. Can you guys see what we've got here? Oh, can't glue it yet. Woo, I almost screwed up badly. Next, we have to do the inside. Now, I have used shiny paper for the inside on this. On this one, I used all the same papers all the way across here, but we're not going to be using these 2 papers on this card. So these 2 papers in here, let me give you the measure for that and the measure for the DSP for the back. Let's see here, got... Okay, so if you're making this card, you want 4 strips. If you're making this card, you need 2 strips. You're going to need 2 strips of designer series paper. They're going to be 4.5 centimeters wide by 14.35. You guys recognize this number again. Or 1.5 inches wide here by 5.5 here. So we're going to go all the way down so you guys recognize the 5.5 because this is the full length. We're not cutting these. Well, actually, I did cut them short. Okay. I cut them short, but I don't think it's going to matter at all. I did mean to cut them all the way to the top though. So because for my other ones, I did cut. You can see I cut, so I left a border. So instead of 5.5, I cut 5.25. Instead of 14.35, I cut 14.85. I cut 14.35. So you guys know what I've done there. Let me throw this thing away. So we're going to put these on the inside. And you'll see in a minute why it doesn't matter as much. Because this paper is really dark, which I love. I mean, I've been, you know, dying to say secrecy is the new black, because that's really silly because they show orange is the new black. But anyway, why we need a new black, I don't know. But this secrecy is gorgeous. And everything I've done with it so far has just turned out so incredible. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Come on. This shiny paper doesn't slide as well. I don't know why. It's just a different makeup, I guess. All right. Here we go. And then you would do the inside pieces if you were doing the other one. Now we can put this on, because as you can see, if we were to put this on before, we would have been a world of hurt trying to get that in there. All right, so back to getting this set up. Okay, let's line this up. Scooch it out and scooch it out. You don't want that to show. All right, so hold that down. Now you can see what I'm taping, but you can, like I said, seriously, you can absolutely do this with glue. Come on, tear and tape. Okay, there we go. Flat here. And when that's flat, now you can turn it over like, whoops, don't get your stuff stuck. And we can open this side. It's never the big things I have to worry about. All right, there we go. And now that is sandwiched in. Now, if you were using glue, just do this, close that up, put a weight on it, walk away, let it do its thing. You don't want to open it until that glue is dry. All right, now, look at how cute that is. Is that awesome? Got some little sparklies for our dove. All right, and now to decorate the rest, I have cut some strips here, and we're going to put the, I probably should have cut, you know, I should have cut another one for that. I didn't, did I? We're going to glue these strips. Let me give you the size of them here. Oh, I didn't write it down because I don't have these in the original. All right, so these are approximately 1.5 centimeters, because you're going to trim them. So 1.5 centimeters by this is 1/2 inch. So 1.5 centimeters or 1/2 inch for the strips, and it's the same length as our card. So whatever your card is, either 14.85 or 5.5, it's the same length as your card. We're not leaving any edges. We're decorating the whole thing. So we're going to glue this in here. And you want to butt this up to this paper. Make sure you're even top to bottom, and you're butted up tight, just like that. And we will leave that to sit a moment. And now for our inside piece, here is another piece of designer series paper. And this is 9.9 centimeters by 14.85, 3¼ inches by 5½. So we're going to put this in the corner here, just like that. Alrighty. And I'm going to push this all the way up to the corner. Make sure we're even top to bottom. None of that blue showing. Come down for me just a little bit here. There you go. Alright. Nice and smooth. And this is where the designer series paper, this is so brilliant because it matches up so pretty. We're going to put our other strip on this side. And you know, I just realized I should have cut a strip for there. It didn't even occur to me. I was just thinking about the outside of the card. So I think I will go back and cut another strip. I can start with the same measurement as these, but I will probably need to cut it down a little bit. But I can just, you can keep shaving them, especially if you have a really nice paper cutter, a really sharp paper cutter. You can keep shaving them down until you get a nice, get the perfect size. All right, and so by butting these edges up like this, this is what we have. Isn't that pretty? Look at that. With our little dove hanging out. And I have done this piece for the inside like that. Now I did one and I tried putting it up on dimensionals. Sorry. Oh, I want to use tape on this because it's white. I put them up on dimensionals. It didn't set, it didn't close correctly. It made it look lumpy. So that's why I recommend don't doing it. Now this greeting is one of the, it's the, I think it's a smaller. I'll have to look. The smaller ones. These little gorgeous little stars, they're also a part of the die cuts. And I stamped it with Secrecy. So I'm just going to put this right in here. Oops. Do we look centered? Yeah, it looks pretty good. Like that. So when you close up, you see it, you see an edge of it, but it's not, it doesn't show really, not that much, because you're going to want to open it when you get it out. But as you can see, it all falls flat. And then we have gorgeous shiny card. And what I will do, I didn't cut it for now, but I will put a piece on the back to write on. Now, this is the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to trim those off. I made it because whenever you fold things, they're never going to fold the same. You can't get them to fold the same 2 times in a row. As you can see, got a little bit sticking out here because the folds didn't come out exactly perfectly. And they never will. That's just part of handmade. That's part of working with cardstock. So I intentionally made these bigger, and the sizes that I gave you are what I would consider the minimum. You could push this over to where it's sticking out a lot, but it's not really worth it. Just use these. I figured out the hard stuff for you. So when I cut off our extra pieces, oh, by the way, top tip, working with this shiny paper, you want a either a brand new blade or just a very super sharp blade. It's not that easy to cut. All right, so there's the pieces trimmed off. As you can tell, no harm, no foul, but it's beautiful on the back. Having a little bit of white showing doesn't really, I don't think anybody's going to say anything. I don't think anybody's going to notice. But anyway, that's our card today. I hope you enjoyed that. This is the little hanger. You can do anything to hang this. I went looking around. I had some clear fire line. I couldn't lay my hands on it, so I decided just to go ahead and do this, just show it to you anyway. So that's it. That's our card for the day. This is using the brand new Peace on Earth set. So I'll put these out here for you. And I hope you give this a go. It's actually quite easy. There's 2 different styles to go from. The thought I had is you could actually paint this. You could do different things to it. You could stamp this. I thought about stamping the little map markers. I thought about stamping little map markers on here. So there's a lot you can do, and you can do them either way. Just remember, you can either cover this whole piece, because that extends all the way to here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's the extension piece. And it covers it on the back side. And I think it will. I'll cut another piece on this and put another piece of shiny right there. I think it'll look really good. All right, anyway, you guys have a wonderful crafty day. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you liked it, give me a little heart on Facebook. I always like that. I'm going to be posting this also on YouTube, so you can watch the replay. And I always appreciate a thumbs up there as well. And if you like the content, subscribe to get more like this. The next one I do is I'm going to be using this suite again, because, well, I love it. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing some more Christmassy stuff coming up real soon now. All right. Everybody have a crafty day. See you later.